thing is one thing that I have to get because it makes everything easier. Guys, this thing can grind pepper, it can grind chicken. What can't it grind? You really want to go deep into this kitchen thing, then you might want to get one. Hi guys, welcome back to Maxie's Kitchen. If this is your first time here, I'm so glad to have you over. Please don't forget to subscribe and try and watch some of my past videos. If you're not new here, you're welcome back to Maxie's Kitchen. So this is the second episode of the Uni Starter Pack series Kitchen Edition, and today we're going to be talking about the intermediate kitchen uni equipment list and the advanced uni kitchen equipment list. If you haven't seen the first episode, you should go and watch it. So I introduced the series in that episode. I also spoke about the basic uni kitchen equipment list, so please try and watch it before you watch this one if you haven't yet. Let's get into the video. So before we actually start talking about the intermediate uni kitchen equipment list, I want to tell you guys that you can find all the three lists on my Amazon storefront. So if you head over to my Amazon storefront, I would leave the link in the description box. You would find all these three lists in different folders, should I say. Yes, in different folders. So when you click on one particular one, whichever one it is out of the three, you would see all the items over there. But what I'm going to do is that for the intermediate and advanced list, equipment list, they would already have things the basic list has. So everything you see there will be all that plus whatever is in the basic list. Okay, so just have that in mind. And for the advanced list, everything that you see there would be all that plus everything in the intermediate list. So you guys will understand what I'm trying to say as time goes by, but just have this at the back of your mind for now. Now let's talk about the intermediate equipment list. So like I said in episode 1, the intermediate equipment list is just going to have a bit more things than the basic list, okay? And the advanced is going to have a bit more than the two, the basic and the intermediate. But let's focus on the intermediate for now. So on the list that I'm actually going to put out, the first thing on the list would be everything in the basic list. That's literally what I'm going to write for the very first thing, so that I wouldn't have to list all of that again, okay? So from number 2 to whatever the last number would be new things that would be the additional things that makes this list higher than the basic list, okay? So let's just say the second thing you will need apart from everything else on the basic list are some trays. Now I didn't add this to the basic list because I don't think it's very important. Not all student rooms have tables. People like to eat on the bed, so if you're the kind of person that likes to sit on the bed and eat, it would be very useful to get some trays. So the third thing that we're going to talk about is a dish drying rack. Now this depends on the kind of kitchen that you're going to have. If you have a studio, I'd advise that you get one because you would have your own kitchen space. But sometimes when you're actually sharing a kitchen with different people, the accommodation provides this thing where you can, you know, dry your plates and all your dishes once you're done washing them. Okay, so you just have to check and then get it if you want to get it. The next thing I'll talk about is a grill pan. Now this is optional and this is why I've put this in the intermediate list. Sometimes it's nice to like make burger patties on the grill pan. You can make chicken on the grill pan. You can make a whole lot of things on the grill pan. So if you would want to get one, feel free to get one. And I'm not going to mention this again in this video because it would just make it too boring if I keep repeating it, but just know that you can find some of these things on Amazon because I've linked some of them, okay? And if I know other places where you can find some of these things that aren't exactly on Amazon, I would also leave links to those places in my description box, so please make sure to check the description box once you're done watching the video, okay? The next thing that I think would be useful is some pot stands. I don't know if that's the name, but you know when you have hot food and then you need to take it off the stove, you need to put it on something and not directly on the counter. So the ones that I have are cork, and they're made out of cork, okay? So you should definitely get one or two. The next thing I would want to talk about are glass straws or reusable straws. Now I've tried two types. I've tried the glass ones and the metallic type, the ones that are made out of metal, and I think I like the glass one better because I can see through it. I think that's the reason why I actually prefer it. But whichever one is actually very affordable, and I've linked some on my Amazon storefront. The next thing that I would like to talk about is a set of mixing bowls. Now I know that I already spoke about mixing bowls in the basic equipment list, so I want to introduce to you guys a different set of mixing bowls which I think is very suitable for people choosing this particular level of equipment, okay? Now the mixing bowls that I want to talk about are about 4 or so, and they come with measuring cups and teaspoons as well. So it's in one set. I'm going to try and put a picture right here for you guys to see what I'm talking about. But I think that if you're going for this list, I'd assume that you'd like to bake from time to time. Therefore, you need to measure out some things with the measuring cups and spoons. And instead of going to buy a different set of measuring cups and spoons, just get this whole set at a cheaper price, okay? So that's why I've linked this one, and that's why I've added this one to this list. Next thing in the intermediate list is sieve. So I spoke about a colander in the basic list, and that's for pasta and noodles and all of that, but the sieve is the final one. So the holes in the sieve, they are much smaller holes in the sieve as compared to that of a colander. And once again, if you like to bake and you're choosing this list, you will need a sieve to sieve out some flour and some other things. Now the one I'm going to attach is a set of 3, and I have one. I just recently bought it and I love it, and it's not expensive at all. I think it's less than £6, and they're of different sizes. So I would link that below, and if you want to get it, go ahead and get it. So the next thing on the list is a vegetable peeler or a potato peeler. I don't know if it's called a potato peeler, but a peeler. Now this is very useful. Instead of scraping my carrots with a knife, I use the peeler to just peel it, and it makes everything easier. I use it for my potatoes, for some of my vegetables. So I think it's a very useful tool, and it's really inexpensive, so please buy one if you can. The next thing on our list is pasta bowls. So I found a set of 2 pasta bowls on Amazon, and I thought to myself to add it to this list, okay? So apart from your little like breakfast bowls for cereals or soups and your plate, you can have these 2 also for like pasta dishes and some other things that would actually fit in this bowl. So check it out, and if you want it, grab it. Now this is the last thing that I've put on the intermediate equipment list, and that's a potato masher. So you will need this to mash your potatoes. If you're someone that eats mashed potatoes from time to time, or if you actually enjoy it, I'd urge you to buy it because it's really not so expensive, okay? So you can get one. I would link one on Amazon for you, so you can check out the one that I would suggest that you get, and then you can get it if you want. But this is it for the intermediate equipment list. Now let's get into the advanced equipment list. Now the first thing on the advanced equipment list for uni students would be everything on the basic list and on the intermediate list. So that's the very first thing, everything on the basic and intermediate equipment list. Now the second thing you will need is a wok. Now I love using a wok to stir fry everything, like when it comes to stir fry vegetables, stir fry chicken, stir fry noodles, stir fry anything stir fry. I use my wok. It does a better job than a regular frying pan. Okay, a regular frying pan can't do what the wok can do. Any type of fried rice that I make it in the wok. So if you're extra like me, definitely get a wok, and I'm going to link the exact same one that I use on my Amazon storefront, and I would also link a smaller one on my Amazon storefront too, because mine is quite big, I must admit. The next thing that I would like to talk about is a cast iron pot. Now, a cast iron pot, this can be used to make your jollof rice. It can be used to slow cook stuff in the oven. The next thing that I think would be useful is a tin opener. Now, I do not even have a tin opener, but I think it's one thing that I have to get because it makes everything easier. Now, it's not a necessity, but if you really want to go deep into this kitchen thing, then you might want to get one to open your tins and your cans and all of that. Kitchen scissors. Now, I got one from Joseph. It is so good. I have used it for more than 2 years and it's still really good. Now, people use kitchen scissors for all kinds of things, but if you want to go ahead and get it. I have one and I think it's been very useful for me. The next thing I would suggest you get is a pepper grinder. Now, we'll be talking spices and condiments later, but I want to talk about this grinder because I think it's an equipment. Okay, now I've always been telling you guys, well, on Instagram I always tell my people to get a grinder if they can than to buy black pepper that has already been grinded from the supermarkets, because when you have the fresh peppercorns and you actually grind them yourself, you get a more intense flavor. It's way better like that and everything's just fresher. Okay, so if you can get the pepper grinder, I'm going to put the one I use in the Amazon list, so you can find it there if you go and have a look at it. The next thing on this list is a food weighing scale. Now, I have one and it was less than £10 and it's been so useful. Whenever I bake, I use my scale to weigh out the ingredients. Now, I found that whenever you're baking, you need to be very accurate with the measurements. And in the intermediate list, I spoke about getting measuring cups and all of that. That's fine. Measuring cups can be good sometimes, but they are not as accurate as the food scale. So if a recipe says use a cup of flour and another recipe says maybe use 300 grams of flour, the one in grams is more accurate. Okay, so that's why I'm adding a food scale to this list. If you're someone that likes to bake or likes to, you know, try food recipes out, I would urge you to get the food scale because you can be more accurate with your measurements. Okay, and it's not so expensive as well. So yeah, the next thing after the food scale is a hand mixer. Now, I got my hand mixer for less than £30 by Russell Hobbs and it is so good. I've been using it for almost 2 years now. I use it to whip up some cream. I use it to beat my cake batters sometimes and brownie batters and all of that. So the next thing on the list is a chopper. I've always wanted a chopper, you know, I always wanted to buy one for myself, but it was just one of those things I kept postponing to buy. Or I would always say that, oh, I'll buy next week, I'll buy next month, blah blah blah. And then in January, my birthday, one of my friends surprised me with a Ninja chopper. My girl Asanta got me the Ninja chopper. I didn't know what I was missing out on until I got the chopper. Guys, this thing can grind pepper. It can grind chicken. What can't it grind? Like, it's just so useful. I use it to make pesto. I use it to grind chicken. If you haven't watched my beer battered chicken, that's what I used in it. Bro, guys, this thing is very useful and it's actually less than £30. What I like about it is that you can get different textures. So if you want it very smooth, you can get that. If you want it rough, you can get that. You see, so it's just something you should have if you're here. So yeah, I would put a link to the Ninja one that I have that's on top of for me on my Amazon storefront, so you can check it out. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is a hand frother. Now, I know some of you guys are just going to go like, oh, I don't even like coffee, I don't drink coffee, this, that. Fine. You know, hand frother can be used for different things apart from coffee, right? You can use a hand frother to froth like cocoa powder or like your Milo and then make like a nice iced drink with it. I'm going to give you some of the recipes, guys. If you're actually someone that loves coffee like me, then this will even be very useful for you, because you can use it to froth your milk, you can use it to make dalgona instead of using your fork to whisk. You can use this, so I'm going to leave a link to one. Now the last thing that I've put on this list is an 8x8 square inch baking tin or a 9x9 square inch baking tin. Now I'm adding a baking tin because when a lot of people bake, they go into stores to buy the aluminium baking trays for like maybe brownies or stuff like that. But it would just be nice to have one, so that every time you want to make brownies or every time that you want to bake a cake, you can just use that one. Okay, trust me, the one I'm going to link will be less than £10, and if you want to invest in one, you can just buy that one. It has a loose bottom as well, so you can just like push it up and then the cake or brownie comes out. You wouldn't have to like try and scrape everything from the bottom. Okay, I just want to let you guys know that I might have not covered every single equipment. Okay, now if you remember something, okay, and you want me to add it to the list, or if you think of something, just comment them below, and then you can tell me what category that you think we should put it in, whether we should put it in the basic list, intermediate, or advanced list. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys do all of that, and feel free to comment below, text me, DM me. If you don't feel like commenting it and you actually want to DM me to say it, please feel free, and I would definitely add it. But bear in mind that this list is just the equipment list, so we're only talking about equipment for now. We'll move on to other things that you would need in uni, in your kitchen area. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I'm Maxis_kitchen, and we're also on Twitter now at Maxis Kitchen. Okay, so that's just Maxis Kitchen on Twitter and Maxis_kitchen on Instagram. I'll be posting the list on Instagram, and I'll also post it on Twitter. Okay, you'll find it in my highlights on Instagram very soon, so watch out for that. And if you have any questions, please feel free to comment them down below, okay, and I'll answer all of it. I'll see you in the next episode, guys. Bye.